Shocking evidence of covert U.S. military operations. The success of the team's mission to locate Yamashita's riches is currently dependent on their ability to investigate 3 hidden locations in the Philippines. However, back in the United States, Chief Researcher Bingo Minerva is investigating other possible individuals who are after the stockpile. Roland Keltz, an author and contributor to the New York Times whom he meets with, is the one who studied the clandestine U.S. activities to retrieve the wealth from the Japanese and the influential persons involved in those operations as shocking evidence of covert U.S. military operations is revealed. The group stays in the Philippines to carry on their search for Yamashita's gold and investigates 3 locations that are speculated to have some kind of buried treasure. In the meantime, back in the United States, Chief Researcher Bingo Minerva meets with novelist and New York Times contributor Roland Keltz to discuss who else may be searching for the treasure. Bingo and Roland's goal is to find out who else may be interested in the treasure. Keltz discloses that General Douglas MacArthur, who supervised the American occupation of Japan and was the most powerful person in the nation at the time, was made aware of the hidden riches and contacted President Truman, who then launched a clandestine American operation to collect it. MacArthur was the most powerful person in the country at the time. Keltz reveals that President Truman launched the covert American operation to extract the treasure. Keltz gives evidence to back up his assertions, which indicates that individuals who knew about the treasure during that time were in a position to benefit from it. Keltz's claims are supported by the evidence. It has come to light that General MacArthur was complicit in the utilization of the plunder that the Japanese had stolen during World War II and had access to all of these treasures, including precious metals and stones that belonged to the Japanese government, as well as goods that belonged to selected individuals. This information was exposed in a recent book. During the course of the Cold War, covert operations were funded by gold that had been retrieved from Yamashita's treasure. This practice continued for several decades. According to the legend, in order to gain the maps and information necessary to locate the buried riches, General MacArthur and his cohorts resorted to torturing individuals in order to get what they wanted. It is said that the Black Eagle Trust Fund, which is thought to be in existence even now, is used to pay clandestine CIA operations, including as efforts to retrieve Yamashita's riches. John Casey and his crew have returned to the Philippines in order to continue their search for Yamashita's riches. They have found a collapsed tunnel that could perhaps bring them to the treasure, but before they can do that, they need to excavate the entrance in a safe manner first. The miners start their digging once the location has been secured, and they are ecstatic with the discoveries they make inside the tunnel. On the other hand, they are aware of the possibility of ground collapses and make the decision to properly secure and bolt the door before proceeding inside. During the course of their exploration of the tunnel, they come across chisel marks on the wall, American numbers painted on the tunnel, and a knife handle that is reminiscent of a K-bar, which is a type of combat knife used in the military. The discovery of these artifacts, which provide vital evidence about the age of the tunnel, as well as the likely involvement of American POWs in its construction, adds to the excitement of the prospect of uncovering hidden treasures and revealing the secrets contained beneath. They believe that General Yamashita concealed loot worth billions of dollars, including in this mountain, and that Yamashita buried some of it here. They have found a collapsed tunnel that could perhaps bring them to the treasure, but before they can do that, they need to excavate the entrance in a safe manner first. The miners start their digging once the location has been secured, and they are ecstatic with the discoveries they make inside the tunnel. On the other hand, they are aware of the possibility of ground collapses and make the decision to properly secure and bolt the door before proceeding inside. John and his team are searching for a lost treasure, and they have recently discovered an abandoned tunnel that has been reopened. They make the decision to send a camera into the tunnel to take images, despite the fact that it is not yet safe for them to enter it. They are doing an investigation of the tunnel, and as they do so, they notice chisel marks on the wall. These marks suggest that the tunnel may be rather old. They also find American numbers painted on the walls of the tunnel, which leads them to believe that American prisoners of war may have been involved in its construction. As they proceed with their exploration, they find a knife handle that has marks that are similar to those on a K-bar, which is a type of combat knife used in the military. This artifact has the potential to reveal useful information regarding the tunnel, as well as the individuals who were engaged in its construction. The narrator's expressions of anticipation around the investigation of a mysterious artifact that has tremendous historical significance are ratcheting up the level of excitement. The narrator is quite excited about the prospect of unearthing other hidden treasures and deciphering the mysteries that are contained within them. To be able to persevere through the never-ending challenges that come with being a treasure hunter, you need to have a certain kind of personality. Not only is the job that must be done on a daily basis challenging, but there are also a great many other challenges that must be surmounted, particularly when it comes to making difficult decisions in the face of very long odds. Due to this factor, it is virtually inevitable that the treasure hunters on any given buried treasure reality show will be unsuccessful in their efforts. Despite the fact that the success rate was already known beforehand, it is nonetheless interesting to follow the trip of the searcher and any history that is discovered along the way. Team Lead. John Casey is searching for the buried wealth of General Yamashita Tomoyuki on the island of Luzon in the Philippines. He's attempting to locate the treasure by following meticulously hidden clues. Despite all of the show's best efforts, the first season, entitled Digging Up Lost History and Lost Gold of World War II, resulted in nothing but dead ends. When the show was restarted for Season 2, the title of the new season was, Will a New Crew Find the Lost Gold of World War II? This new season included a new crew that appeared to operate a lot wiser with much better equipment, which resulted in the team having more success. Bingo Minerva, the head researcher, used her connections in the United States to find a famed treasure hunter who had previously spent a significant amount of time working with the Philippine government. Since this treasure hunter happened to have many treasure maps, it was only logical to bring him on board the expedition. Because of his expertise, the group was able to make an informed decision about where to dig by combining it with data from NMR scans, seismic scans, and surveys. As a result, they dug in the appropriate location. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications to the first to know when the next post is up. The team used personal videotapes recorded by a previous treasure hunter who spent 30 years in the Philippines and deciphered the coded treasure maps in order to end an intense 5-month-long excavation with some actual success. They finally found a void area after spending several weeks drilling through the side of a mountain with a horizontal drill while working beneath a waterfall that was 300 feet deep. The space has the potential to be a treasure chamber. Using a snake camera, they spotted what appeared to be crates of ammo. Do the crates contain any valuables? How exactly do they plan to retrieve them? And will the authorities truly let the team keep whatever they might find during their investigation? When the team begins to get excited about their discovery, they are suddenly startled by a second chopper that appears to be following them and spying on them. This happens like clockwork. Everyone is on edge as a result of this, in addition to the unannounced safety inspectors who took plenty of images of the team's progress and the various cautions that others have given, as the level of danger appears to have significantly grown. Because of this unwelcome attention, there is now a sense of urgency to retrieve the treasure as swiftly as possible. Team finally makes breakthrough finding. Want to know more? Click on the next video now. Research team just made a breakthrough as they discover incredible evidence of collapsed tunnel in this episode on the lost gold of World War II. In order to get over the environmental constraints and get to the metal reserves that are hidden beneath a waterfall, Rob and Andrew employ a horizontal drill. They pay close attention to the accuracy of the drill in order to guarantee that it penetrates the empty area. They are worried that possible treasure seekers may destroy their work, so they have hired security to guard it. They are surprised to find a vacuum area and continue their investigation with a borehole camera, which leads them to the discovery of an incredible evidence of collapsed tunnel, along with a piece of wood and a potential tomb. They bore a hole that is 930 feet deep into the mountain in order to access the empty area, and then use a borehole camera to examine the object that they have hit. The accuracy of the drill is absolutely necessary, because even a tiny variation could result in completely missing the void. They take soil samples on a regular basis to check that the drill has not moved. Any movement could put the high-priced equipment at risk. They also notice for the first time that there is overhead monitoring, which raises concerns that they are being observed by possible treasure seekers who may try to steal from them or injure them. Because of this, they have decided to hire security to safeguard their work. The group discusses the significance of maintaining a high level of safety at their treasure hunting location. They are well aware that the results of their research and labor may attract the notice of individuals who are only interested in stealing their knowledge. After some time, they make the discovery that the drill has accidentally breached an unanticipated vacuum space, and now water is flowing into it. They make the decision to conduct additional research using a borehole camera and are astounded to discover a sizable man-made tunnel that contains a piece of wood and what may be a tomb. What ended up happening to many of the most renowned gems in the history of the world? What if they are buried in an unmarked location where they will remain until they are discovered by treasure hunters who just so happen to decipher the hazy hints that were left behind? This is one of the primary attractions that viewers have to Lost Gold of World War II and other similar television series. General Yamashita of Japan capitulated at the close of World War II, was put on trial, and was ultimately put to death before he was able to identify the precise locations of the wealth he had stolen throughout Southeast Asia. His initial objectives may have been to leave behind photo codes and symbols in order for the Golden Lily, a secret society related to the country's nobility, to return and collect the looted prizes, which are rumored to contain precious artifacts, jewels, military secrets, and gold. His goals may have also included leaving behind the looted prizes. On Luzon Island in the Philippines, a 7-person team, including their head researcher, who is based in the United States, investigates eyewitness accounts, finds a story rock, unearths mysterious symbols, and by the time the season finale airs, finds a hidden underground tunnel, the entrance to which may have been made accessible after a record-breaking typhoon hits the island. Due to the fact that World War II's waning days occurred much more recently, Lost Gold simply does not have hundreds of years' worth of tall tales surrounding its buried treasures. If social media had been available during the time of General Yamashita, there is no doubt that the lost riches would have been located right away. But with Nippon Star's murky ties and a little background knowledge on the Black Eagle Trust Fund, which is an unauthorized, off-the-books CIA funding for covert operations, I'm instantly fascinated, and I wonder who else may have already attempted to collect part of the lost wealth. The sole critical eyewitness who was still alive and had survived to see Yamashita's workmanship up close and personal has now passed away. How will the passing of Grandpa impact the job that the team does going forward? Their hunt for wealth may come to an abrupt halt if they are unable to delve just a little bit farther into the meanings of critical clues. Is it possible that some of the booby traps that were set 70 years ago could still be effective in blocking subsequent revelations? Will someone from the Golden Lily Hidden Organization finally make a remark regarding the current predicament? Who is the confidential source who may or may not have crucial blueprints to treasure places found throughout the island nation? What is the identity of the confidential informant who is keeping their true identity a secret? Will the pursuit of the truth put the life of anybody else in danger? After the conclusion of Season 1, these are just some of the questions that come to mind. These treasure hunters are surely venturing out on a perilous adventure in order to unravel one of the most significant unresolved mysteries pertaining to World War II. Additional investigation and exploration on the ground should hopefully be of assistance in deciphering and understanding the weird signs, symbols, and dead ends that have been found. I am less skeptical that these hunters will discover something more concrete than the Oak Island team, because their path to exposing buried history has taken place over the course of hundreds of years, which may have featured a variety of scenarios in which the treasures were transported to a different location. This one is from more recent times, and it gives the impression that it is genuinely possible to unearth treasure from multiple spots throughout the islands that hasn't previously been claimed or decayed. The search for Yamashita's gold has brought John Casey and his crew back to the Philippines. They have found a collapsed tunnel that may eventually bring them to the riches, but in order to do it safely, they must first excavate the entrance to the tunnel. The miners start their digging once the location has been secured, and the discoveries they make inside the tunnel have them very thrilled. On the other hand, they are aware of the possibility of the ground collapsing, so before going in, they decide to thoroughly seal and bolt the entrance. During the course of their exploration of the tunnel, they come across chisel marks on the wall, American numbers painted on the tunnel, and a knife handle that resembles a K-bar, which is a type of military-style fighting knife. The discovery of these artifacts, which provide vital clues about the age of the tunnel, as well as the likely involvement of American POWs in its construction, adds to the excitement of the prospect of unearthing hidden treasures and unraveling the secrets contained beneath. They are of the opinion that General Yamashita concealed loot worth billions of dollars, some of which may be located in this mountain. They have found a collapsed tunnel that may eventually bring them to the riches, but in order to do it safely, they must first excavate the entrance to the tunnel. The miners start their digging once the location has been secured, and the discoveries they make inside the tunnel have them very thrilled. On the other hand, they are aware of the possibility of the ground collapsing, so before going in, they decide to thoroughly seal and bolt the entrance. Subscribe now for more update on interesting new discoveries, and be sure to hit that notification bell to be the first to know when the next post is up. John and his colleagues are looking inside a recently reopened tunnel in the hopes that it would take them to a long-lost treasure. They have come to the conclusion that it is too dangerous for them to enter the tunnel at this time, so they will instead send a camera in there to capture images. During the course of their investigation, they come across chisel marks on the wall of the tunnel, which lead them to believe that it was constructed quite some time ago. They find what appear to be American numbers painted on the walls of the tunnel, which leads them to speculate that American prisoners of war may have been engaged in its construction. As they continue their search, they find a knife handle that has marks that are similar to those on a K-bar, a type of military-style fighting knife. This artifact may hold important information regarding the tunnel and the individuals who participated in its construction. The narrator's expressions of anticipation around the investigation of a mysterious artifact that has tremendous historical significance are ratcheting up the level of excitement. The narrator is looking forward to unearthing even more hidden riches and deciphering the mysteries that are contained within them with great anticipation. Shocking new discovery by research team. Click on the next video to find out more.